Hello YouTube, Reddit Math here, and welcome back to the Red Estate. A couple of things to cover before we go out in this episode, mostly related to comments on the last episode. One of which is going to be some of the other party combinations that I wasn't super familiar with, the usual suspects of course, but also that we could do, is it this? Yeah, the inverted bunch. That's kind of neat. Also, good cop, bad cop. I actually kind of like that one quite a bit. I may embark like that, and then we may consider swapping those guys around as he loses access to several of his skills in that position. But, oh well. The other thing is the names of some of these characters. So, Lucelle, that's what we're going to go with on that. Crazy French names, again, I'm terrible at. And now that I know how to pronounce it, and I'm very thankful to the commenters who told me how, I'm going to ask that in the comments of this video, if you would like to replace either our Plague Doctor or our Vestal, leave me a comment, and I'll take probably just the first commenter who wants either of those positions on our estate and rename them. I think Dismas and Renauld are going to stay Dismas and Renauld, just so I can keep track of them, as there is an achievement related to them. Other than that, of course, we have no trinkets to worry about, and we're still a little bit on rails here, so the runes are our only option. We're going to go ahead and pop into the provisioning screen. Now,
Cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
wonderful. Well, I think I'd rather pay in gold than blood, if at all possible. So, this tutorial message, again, kind of important not to just super gloss over. For your first quest, try and bring at least 8 food and 4 torches. We're also getting some anti-venom and some holy water due to the characters we're bringing with us. If I had to guess, the Plague Doctor gets us the anti-venom and the Vestal gets us the holy water? Maybe the Crusader? Probably the Vestal. Yeah, we'll go with that. Let's say 8 food seems totally reasonable. I'm going to do a little bit more than 4 torches. And then I'm also going to want to grab 1 shovel. We are going to the ruins, so let's say a skeleton key as well. Is there anything else? Let's think. Medicinal herbs can be used for Iron Maidens. Otherwise, it's keys, holy water, keys, holy water, medicinal herbs, keys. Let's say 2 keys. Something like that. I am notorious for over-preparing, and I'm going to be bringing significantly more than as recommended to bring 8 food and 4 torches. But other than that, I think we should be fine here, and let's go ahead and jump inside. Your first expedition into the ruins of your ancestry. Be curious, be careful. Okay, now we do have a pretty serious handicap at the moment, in the form of Renauld being batshit crazy already. That's probably going to be a disadvantage, if I had to say so. Hopefully we can overcome that, I'm thinking. Alright, no taunting quote. Alright, right click, bring up details, awesome. Basically telling us that at any given time we could right click, it actually said on a hero's portrait, right? Well, we can definitely right click on them and bring up our information there. Now, pretty straightforward. 90% of rooms, we can skip 1. Probably skip that room right there, or maybe that room right there, depending on any sort of scout we may get. And you know what? As fun as good cop, bad cop sounds, let's go ahead and swap those guys around right away. Alright. We do earn ourselves an extra torch. Excellent, I agree. And as we approach here, we'll go ahead and try to keep our torchlight above 75 most of the time that we're moving through the dungeon. I don't enjoy the added stress of it dropping down. Of course, bonus chance of surprising the enemies, but they didn't care about that at all. Let's go with you. Of course, we're not going to be doing too much here. You don't have the ability to do that. So I tell you what, we'll basically just pass her turn by using something that is totally worthless. Good. Lucelle. We'll go with Lucelle. Was at least able to get out of the way of that. See, that is 3 to 6. That is 2 to 5. Let's maybe go here and miss you horribly. And you can do nothing from that position. Awesome. Alright then. That was a good first round, wasn't it?
Mortality clarified in a single strike.
Especially when they critically strike Dismas there. Oh, man. As mentioned in a comment, there are, of course, plenty of French names throughout the game.
Surges as the enemy crumbles.
And that is particularly great because I am terrible at, like, pronouncing French words. I took 6 weeks of French, which seems like a really weird amount of time, I'm sure. But we had, when I was in like junior high school, we had these sort of modules that we would do for 6 weeks before declaring like actual electives in a later year that you would then do for much longer. And I tell you what, it's probably better. I could heal him for 3, but I might also just prevent damage, and I think I would prevent more than 3 damage by doing that. So that is in fact what we're going to do there. So yeah, it took 6 weeks of French in that rotation, and it was going fine in the beginning. You know, like learning French was totally a-okay, but then
even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
All right, even though it is the greatest line in maybe the whole game, if you don't use a shovel, I think I'm going to have to here. So yeah, speaking French, I don't actually aim to get you killed. Why do you keep running away? I'm not okay with this. I'm super not okay with this. Let's maybe start the blight early. All right. And then one of these. It's unfortunate that we don't have anybody else to really dissuade the stress attacks that are going to be coming our way. Yeah, also the torchlight reductions are not my friend either. Let's think about this. Dodge. These guys don't really do dodge that much. We can Hand of Light, which does do extra damage against Unholy. Let's try this for the kill. Don't get it. Lovely. Yeah, so everything was going fine, like, for the first half of that course when it was primarily focused on the spoken word of French.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
But as soon as we got into the writing, it was suddenly not so okay. Considering... Let's just go with this. If it blights her again, which it does, she'll die before she acts. Okay. As soon as we got into the written word, it seemed like every word in French was just all of the vowels in every word. And somehow they would combine to make vowel sounds that were just like, ugh. And I never really understood that part of it.
A death by inches.
Of course, our French teacher was quick to tell us all that, you know, French was a phonetic language, and it was always pronounced exactly the way it was spelled. I don't know that I necessarily believed her.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Yay! That's actually quite great. We do pick up 2 deeds, which I'm pretty stoked about. Unfortunately...
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Renauld here has been checking himself out of both of these fights so far, and not able to really accomplish much for us. Wow. Okay, well, I mean, that's like exactly the same decision. Battle room with a curio or battle room with treasure? Let's just go with treasure. Seems less risky than curio. Alright, and of course, kleptomaniac. Yep, it is a fine looking pack. And he is going to take it because Renauld hates us. Okay, awesome. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, I would later go on in high school to study Russian as a foreign language for 2 years, and so my Ruski Yazik is slightly better than my French. Unfortunately, there are not a lot of Russian names coming up in this playthrough. I figure that, right? Okay, good. That will probably not be super important, but I think like a good zealous accusation here might finally be what we need out of Renauld. Oh, don't taunt him. No, they're not on our side. It's not a conspiracy, man. Oh, God. Double miss. Wow. Alright, well. Hey, what? Let's toss out a stun here. Stress is kind of...
lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Stress is kind of our greatest enemy at the moment. Reynauld's not helping one bit with any of that, and it is going to quickly add up to some expenses we cannot really afford. Let's see, we can't really do much to him, unfortunately. Let's see, an incision would do 3 to 6. Let's go with this, even though she dodged it. She was going to be a little bit harder for us to kill. Okay, I mean, 3 damage, that's not great, but it was something. At least he didn't pass, right? And Paranoid has actually been really bad for us. Okay, got the Blade there, and then... not wonderful. She will die from this Blight, but not before stressing out the rest of our party quite a bit. Okay, let's try for another stun. Man, quit doing that, please. Yeah.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
And that corpse finally moving out of the way does pretty much put her, wow, in position to be killed this turn. But she is going to die.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
If we could get any healing out, that would have been really great. Unfortunately, we did not. Man, look at those stress numbers. That is insane. Also, heirloom chest. Use a key in order to get bonus heirlooms. Awesome. It's going to take me a little bit of rethinking the way that I loot things, because I've got to be coming back with heirlooms now. And for quite a while in my previous save, I had finally escaped the rat race that is heirlooms, and so I could just focus on gold. We're not there yet, and so there are going to be some hard decisions to make about what to take and what to leave behind. But I think maybe if I focus... Oh, not again. I think if I focus a little bit more, that would have been really nice. It's like 350 gold right there, Renauld. I think if I focus a little bit more on maybe lightly... Let's collect ourselves. Light a torch. Oh my god. Please stop interrupting my ability to walk. On maybe lightly provisioning or efficiently provisioning myself for dungeons, that I should have enough open spaces to not have to just toss loot. And we do get to use our second shovel here. It's nice. If we'd only brought one, we would have been fine. We could have ignored this tunnel and like backtracked for this. But I'm glad that we didn't have to do that. We are out of torches. This is going to be our last room. So let's just go ahead and use our food here to kind of top some characters off a bit. And then see what awaits. Okay. Stress attacks are terrible, especially when she's now at 81. Another one of those could really hurt us. Start off with the double stun, except it's not a double stun. And... wow, and the miss. Jeez. Okay. Okay. The light forsakes us, but why? It's the question I ask myself every morning when I roll out of bed, Renauld. Why did the light forsake me? Oh. It's because it's usually bright and it's painful. Also, Renauld, because of his paranoia, decided to choose his own turn. It wasn't so bad. Of the possibilities of things he could have done, him attacking the bone soldier is something I could probably live with. He's only 2, so either a zealous accusation or a grape shot blast takes care of him. Let's go with focusing there, and then do some damage back here. Awesome. He's going to get off one more attack. And he's going to get off several. The Bone Arbalist is not my favorite friend by any stretch of the imagination. Let's just heal. Nice. And a zealous accusation. Good. And then I'm probably going to try to get it down to just the Bone Defender and then stun him up quite a bit to just sort of ruin his day. Okay. We'll get one more tempting goblet thrown at us, but then he's going to be out of this fight. So I'm thinking here, 2 more rounds. Let's try for the stun on the Arbalist specifically. We do get it. That's great. Mostly he's for the fact that he's just going to take a little bit more damage here while he's unable to do anything. Oh man, that's unfortunate. Let's try that again. Good crit for damage, and we also land the stun. Good, good. I'll toss in a little bit of damage from the pistol shot. That'll mean he is dead from his blight, and it's just 4 versus 1, with the defender having 5
Slow
HP.
Death, unforeseen, unforgiving.
All right, so this fight has wrapped itself up. We'll do another dazzling light here. Kill him.
Slowly,
He dies.
gently. This is how a life is taken.
Not a bad haul. Continue adventuring, and we'll go ahead and use another key on the heirloom chest. Alright, some more heirlooms, not bad. I think the most important thing for me here was really that I came out of this with 2 deeds. I was thinking about backtracking, but due to our stress levels, I think I'm going to avoid it, and we're just going to call this one. Alright, no quips from the narrator, fair enough. The 2 deeds are specifically important so that I could get the next upgrade level of the stagecoach right away. As crests were guaranteed as a reward, but deeds were not. I needed to pick those up and loot, and I did. Alright. Natural Swing is actually great. I would totally go for locking that in. Everybody needs some stress relief, though. That's a little bit troubling. Upon returning to the hamlet,
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Alright. Upon returning to the hamlet, be sure to, and that's all I managed to read before it went away. Alright. Terrible. The load times are so short. It's awful. Alright. Over time, some negative quirks will lock into place since it becomes severe. Severe negative quirks cost much more to remove in the sanitarium. That is fair. And in week 2, the tavern is now unlocked. The Abbey is now unlocked. The sanitarium is actually not unlocked, so that pop-up is a little bit unhelpful to us at the moment. The ruins have also become unlocked as a location. So that means we can still come into here. Everything else is locked except for the ruins, so we're going to be going back there next week, which is a little bit disappointing, truth be told. I would like to get into the Deeds game as soon as possible. But we're going to pop into our stagecoach and meet 3 new friends. Again, I'm going to ask if you are interested in becoming our next grave robber, bounty hunter, or hellion, because I am totally recruiting all 3 of these. That leave me a comment and let me know which one you would like. Whoever gets there first, it's all you, man. It's all you. Let's see here. Our current hellion is a Clotter and a Warren Scrounger, but also a Warren's Phobe. Interesting. She scouts better, but is scared of going in there. A little bit of a double-edged sword. Her combat skills are her primary Wicked Hack. She does come with Barbaric Yop, which is very nice. Breakthrough, which is decent. The debuff on it, that down at the bottom there, where it says self, minus 20% damage and 15% dodge. That means that she is impacted by those things. So that makes it a little bit less awesome, especially when she doesn't have Adrenaline Rush with it. And Bleed Out is probably my least favorite of all of the Hellion skills. But Barbaric Yop and Wicked Hack are fine, like primary up front. She can do some real damage for us. Would certainly like to get, if it bleeds, an Iron Swan and Adrenaline Rush unlocked sooner rather than later. And our camping skills, Reject the God, and Sharpened Spear is quite nice. Okay, fair enough.
Barbaric rage and unrelenting savagery make for a powerful ally.
And our bounty hunter is a Cove adventurer who's flagellant with a fear of the unholy. Of course, starts with the always tried and true collect bounty. Gets a come hither, an uppercut, and a finish him. Uppercut and finish him synergize quite well, as finish him receives bonus damage against stunned enemies, and uppercut stuns enemies, so you can probably see the obvious synergy there. Come hither is like a movement ability that causes hits the enemy and has a chance to pull them forward 2 spaces. Okay, his fear of the unholy is a little unfortunate because he's probably about to head into the ruins with us.
The thrill of the hunt. The promise of payment.
And last but never least, our Grave Robber. She is a wheeled explorer, a ruins explorer. That is amazing, by the way, as she is already a good scouty character. There's a lot of trinkets for the Grave Robber that increase that, and so that's actually really cool to see that she has an added scout chance just coming in. Sickly, so she can receive diseases a little bit easier, but interestingly, she'll have Snuffbox as a camping skill that could be unlocked, so you know that's not the worst thing in the world for her if we can't get it taken off right away. And then, let's see, I think she starts with Thrown Dagger always. She's coming in with Poison Darts, Toxin Trickery, and Lunge. So could do pretty decent work from the back. Okay. I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it.
To those with a keen eye, gold gleams like a dagger's point.
And I want to go ahead and increase our available heroes up to 4.
Word is traveling. Ambition is stirring in distant cities. We can use this.
Of course, I'll only be able to take 2 next week. I need to get 2 more deeds before I can expand our roster size, but I just wanted to go ahead and get that out of the way. I can subsist for a very long time with just 4 characters coming in every week and just focusing on roster size from here on out. So I wanted to get that check mark kind of ticked off. Now,
fresh kegs, cards, and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
we're going to learn a little bit about stress relief here. Both the tavern and the Abbey each effectively has different side effects. And their best activities for each hero depending on their quirks. Basically, characters like Vapont here, who is flagellant and will therefore only go to the Abbey to flagellate and relieve stress. Also, starting out, a huge problem is the caretaker is always doing one of these activities. So like this week, we can't go to the gambling hall at all, and that's a little unfortunate. Gambling hall is not really the thing that we would probably be visiting, but it's a problem.
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight. The Abbey calls to the faithful.
Now, in the beginning, we're probably going to be doing the meditating thing more than anything early on. Let's see. Renauld will only do prayer, and we've got to get his paranoia off of him. So that's going to be a sure thing. The others, it'll depend on what my party looks like. These guys have, like, if I could bring out Dismas, that would probably be for the best, but I may have to end up bringing out the Vestal next week just because of the need for a healer, and she would work okay with that party composition. So I think I'm going to probably break here while I kind of ponder what will be in store for our party comp for the next run. As a gentle reminder again, if you have any interest in joining me at the Red Estate, feel free to leave a comment with your preferred class to choose, and I'll just take the first commenter for each of the 5 classes we currently have available. I'll do the same probably at the end of every episode if we're recruiting somebody, and you can feel free to snatch that character up. That's going to, however, do it for this episode. I do thank you guys for joining me. If you enjoyed it, feel free to subscribe for more on the channel every day. Leave a like or a comment if you have anything to say about this or any of my other videos, and I will catch you guys next time.